All right, this thing's out.
What's going on, guys? Matt Marinoff, Real Estate Recovery Group. Sorry for the late start. We had some technical difficulties. I'm bright. Billy's not. As you can see, he's in the dark over there. But we're making shit happen, which is really good. So, listen, guys. I love Billy. We've known each other for a couple of years, following each other on Facebook. We met at one of those networking events in New York City through Nicholas Tang. And Nick will probably watch us on the replay because if anybody knows Nick Tang, it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. He'll be waking up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's a true story. You do not have to adjust your camera, ladies and gentlemen. This is not Richard Rollins from Fast and Loud.
I get it all the time.
I'm sure you do, but you don't have the tats. This is Billy Alvaro, and Billy's got an amazing story. I wanted Billy to come on today, talk a little bit on the 12 o'clock show, talk about his experience, and basically what he went through to get to the point that he is right now. I truly think it's an amazing story. Most people always tend to hide their stories because they think that it's going to make them look weak. But if anything, it makes them look not weak, makes them look super strong and willing to offer advice to people that may or may not be on the right track in their quest in any life, circumstances, businesses, or whatever it is. So,
sure.
Without further ado, Billy Alvaro, thank you so much for coming on today.
Matty Marinoff, good to be here, buddy. I had some technical difficulties. I am sorry. I'm on my laptop, not on my main computer. My main computer took a complete shit, but we rolled the punches, and I am on hanging with you for a little mid-afternoon. My cocktail is this today.
I appreciate it. I'm having some technical difficulties with my hair right now, which is all right.
Bro, you should just shave it off, man. You just got listen. You're bald. You're bald.
I'm bald.
It is what it is. You can't hide it. Don't do the comb over. Shave the shit off. Grow a goatee. That's it.
You know what happened is I got into real estate and my hair just got terrified of the whole industry and went.
It looks like your hair's scared shit. It's running to the back of your head.
Well, listen, this is empty. I swear to God, it was full. I actually ate this. It wasn't my wife that weighs 104 pounds.
So are you on a health kick right now? Are you starting to get healthy? I'm
trying to get healthy. Yeah, I'm trying to get back on the right track. My vision is to be able to see. I'm tired of looking over my stomach to see what's going on down there.
Yeah, you want to see your penis. I get it.
I do. I want to see. I want to at least see the tip. I want to say hello. It's been way too long.
Just the tip. No, but on a serious note, are you going on to this health thing where you're starting to get yourself healthy?
Yeah. So I've been walking like 3 to 4 times a week. Doing 2.5 miles, 3 miles a day, whatever.
Good.
Now it's more like you get like that high. Whereas if you don't do it and the commitment, and then you feel like an idiot at night, like, oh my God, I should have gone walking. I'll get on the treadmill at 10:30 at night. My wife's like, what the fuck you done? But you know what?
It's important, dude, especially for guys like us, where we're workaholics and we just have a passion for life. Right. Like without your health, without your mind, you're shit. You're nothing. You're done. You got to keep those two in balance.
100%. So, for me, I like following guys like you because you understand the quest. And, I think people that are in our industry, in our niche, real estate agents, investors, I run the loss mitigation company. I think that they're under the impression that they have a 9-to-5 job. And quite honestly, it's not a 9-to-5 job. This is more of a quest because you're an entrepreneur. And I think the reason why, somebody told me yesterday, I think 80% of all real estate agents that start in the industry within the first year are gone. Because they don't have the mentorship. They don't have the mindset. What's your thought on that?
And it takes work, Matt. I mean, listen, it takes work. These guys, these girls, they come in. A lot of them are fly-by-night. They're part-timers, and they're just doing it on the side. And there's a lot of that shit that goes on. But I think in any industry, I think in anything you're going to do, you're going to want to get with a mentor, get with a coach, someone in your organization, someone outside your organization. I mean, even you with health, like, don't try to figure shit out on your own. There's experts out there. I'm saying this in a serious way. Like when I wanted to get super healthy 4 years ago, I met with this gentleman, JP Vidisco in Long Island. I looked him up. This guy is a mad scientist when it comes down to the body. I'm not going to try to figure it out. He knows certain things to get me to where I wanted to go a lot quicker so I can press the time frame. I went to him. I shelled out the bucks. He put me on a special diet. He put me on a special workout plan and a cardio plan. measured my fat, measured my intake of oxygen. Like he just did all this analysis, and he had a specific program for me. So whether it's health, whether it's a real estate agent, whether you're going to start your own business, whether you're getting into marketing, whether you're going to flip houses, whatever it is you're going to do, like don't try to figure this shit out on your own. Get with a mentor, get with a coach. Even if you have to fucking pay them, because you're going to save time, and time is money, and time is the most valuable asset out there. You want to compress that shit.
Listen, I agree with that. So there's a lot of people out there that are offering free mentorship. There's a lot of people out there that might be in a specific niche, as people say, in an industry, and then they sidestep. And then now all of a sudden they've done 1 or 2 transactions, or they've read a book, and now all of a sudden they're a mad professor in that industry, in that slot. And you're laughing and you're shaking your head because you agree that it's a tragedy because they're watering down the ecosystem. What we do is an art. And when somebody says to me, listen, and it cracks me up still to this day, I'm going to bring you a deal. You're going to work it. This is somebody calling me. I'm going to bring you a deal. You're going to work it. And if it closes,
I want 50%.
We're going to split the profits 50%. And out of my 50%,
you have to pay your overhead.
I'm going to pay you as my mentor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
Right.
I appreciate the fact that you've got a big set of nuts coming at me like that. Obviously, you don't know my personality. I'm a nice guy, but I think people sometimes takes my kindness for weakness.
Yeah.
And the fact that I have a bleeding heart for people that are in trouble with their properties. So I tend to shy away from people like that because to me, they're shysters. And my thing is, look, if you can invest $2,500, $5,000, $10,000, or depending on what the person's want to offer you, $25,000 can be made easily off of one transaction. But I think people have the mindset of kind of like a get over. And because of that, I've shied myself away from actually, taking on certain people. And I ask people, so if for 10 people that want to work with me, and some of them might have the money, but if you don't have the mindset, I'm not taking you because it's not about the money. For me right now, it's about having the validation and being able to put it in one of my books and or put you on video and actually show progress. So to me, that's more important in my time in my life than anything else. What are you seeing out there as far as people that are trying to get shit for free and not producing?
Well, look, I think once you start getting into a certain position, and especially now with social media, everybody could follow you, see what you're doing, see your activity, see what's happening in your life. Like you, I get hit all the time. I get hit up by people all day, every day that want something from me. And it's usually education, mentorship, coaching to get them to the next level. The smart ones, the ones who know how to fucking survive life, the ones who are actually going to make it, they're coming to me with something of value. And that's either money or it's like, hey, I got deals and I have a way that I'm bringing them in, but I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. I'd be willing to give you 80% of the profit. And some people will be like, why would anybody give 80? Well, guess what? If I train somebody and they're paying me 80% to 75% and they're learning what to do, how to get this shit done, super ass fast, cutting through fucking problems, it's an education. You're going to pay for your education one fucking way or another. You're either going to pay with cash or you're going to pay with lost deals and lost time and lost experience. So why not me? I'm the type of guy, if I'm going to do something in life, I'm going to find out who the fucking best is out there. I'm going to learn from them, whether it's paying them, being their gopher. Like when I first started in this industry, I worked for a guy for free for 1 year. I told him I will work when I started doing mortgages. I will work for you for a year. I'll be the guy that does all this shit, whatever it is. I'll bring you in deals. I don't want $1, but I want you to give me your brain knowledge. And then in a year, I'm out. Like I'm going to do my time and I'm fucking out doing my own thing. Like I was honest, transparent, told him. And the guy's like, I'll do it. Older guy. I watched him. I saw what he said, how he said it, what he did with the paperwork, how he interacted with people. I'm like, all right, I took a little bit of his personality, put my own mix into it. And then I started a job and I said, okay, who's the top 3 guys at this job? This was back in the mortgage industry again. And I sat down. This is before we had cell phones. It was a cassette player recorder. I go, put them on speaker. And I literally sat there for 3 days and I just listened to these guys pitch. So I took the old man's knowledge. I took these 3 guys that were sales pitching, created my own, added them value. I said, I'll bring you guys in deals. Let me fucking train with you. Gave them deals. I don't want anything in return. I want your knowledge. Knowledge to me is worth its weight in fucking platinum. Fuck gold. Platinum. You give me the knowledge, and if I'm an executor, I'm going to take what you gave. I'm going to give you, if I paid you 50 grand, I'm going to make that 10 times, 100 times down the road, 100%.
But you see what you just said? You're an executor. You're going to execute, okay? You're an alpha. You're a hunter. The people that are coming to me, if you heard and listened to what I said, and I might have skated over it, I'm going to bring you a deal. And if the deal works, when somebody says to me, if, that's a huge red flag.
Right.
If you're not going to come at, there's a way to come at people like you and me. We have to see the value. And if we don't see the value, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't have time for time wasters and tire kickers. I'm not interested in trying to say, hey, go pick up my dry cleaning, we'll figure something out.
Listen, if I was that guy and I said I have a deal I'm going to bring you, I would say take 100% of the proceeds. I don't want anything. Show me what you do. I'll bring you a deal. Just show me what you do. I don't even want you to take any time out of your day. As you make the phone call, let me listen in. As you're doing something, let me listen in. I won't bother you. I'll bring you business. So that's value. If I'm bringing you something and I don't want anything in return except for a little bit of your knowledge, to me, that's a win-win.
That's a different story.
That's a win-win.
It's a win-win. But the problem with society today, or even the younger generation, right? So I'm almost 50. You're 34. 50. You're 34.
Right.
And then you have the younger generation, that 30s and they're in their 20s. These guys have no idea. They have not seen the shit that you and I have seen. I've seen shit over the last 15 years on this side of the industry, plus the additional 3-4 years. So I'm in it almost 19 years.
Yeah.
You've been doing it for 25 years, and you are hardcore in the mortgage side of the industry.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your history.
But before we go on to that, just for once, I just want to say, because you're hitting something that's true to me too, because I get hit by guys that want to get into the rehab space. Because, I wholesale a shit ton. I also renovate a shit ton. So I have young guys that come to me, and exactly what they'll do to you, they do to me. I have a deal. I want to bring you in this deal. I don't want to put in any of my own money. I don't want to have any of the rehab costs. I want to watch what you do, and I want you to pay me 50% of the profit. So I go, what if there's a loss? If there's a loss in that deal, who's going to take the fucking loss? I'm going to take 100% of the loss, and it's happened in the past, right? But they don't get it. They want knowledge, they want the money, they want the experience, but they want to only fucking pay 50%. Doesn't work like that.
Right.
Yo, you'll get a guy to do that deal with you, and that guy is not going to he's not going to do the deal the right way. He's going to fuck things up. He's not going to train you the right way. You might make 50%, but really not, because he's going to add on all the bullshit. So your 50 is really 10. You think it's 50, but he's really fucking skimming off the top. It never works.
Look,
so
I agree with what you're saying. At the end of the day, I think people need to understand their place. And before you can jump into the front seat, before you can even earn a seat inside any type of vehicle, you have to prove yourself. You got to pump the gas. You got to rotate the tires. You got to check the engine. You got to wash the car. You can't come to somebody, forget me, but for yourself. Like, you must laugh on the inside when people bring transactions like that. Depending on your mood, it's either going to say F you or, listen, obviously you don't know me. And, in any situation.
I'm always cordial, Matt. I'm always like, look, I go, you don't understand. This is all risk. It's all risk. So you're bringing in a deal, it's a decent deal. But if things go wrong, if this deal loses, and I've had this happen in the past, I put out the money, I put out the renovation, I do the whole deal, and it's either a break even or we lose 15 grand. Something happens, because shit happens in life.
Right.
You open up the walls, it's like $40,000 more worth of work, whatever.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm holding the basket for 100% of the loss.
Right.
And
so what's their response when you say to them, look, you want to be on 50% of the profit? Are you going to be there on the day when we're at the closing table and there's a 50% loss?
So I learned, because that's my pitch now, and some of these guys, they just want what they want, and I respect it. Go do it with somebody else. Don't do it with me. And I'm not here to mentor you, guide you, train you, teach you, put out all my own money. Like, it's just not going to happen. I'm not that guy. I have way too much fucking value that I bring in to any type of deal with anybody, that if somebody's bringing nothing to I shouldn't say nothing, because a deal is value to the table. But if they want to bring in the deal and they're bringing in part of the money and I take care of the rest, it's a different story. But if they want me to train them and put out all the money and do everything, it's an 80-20 split, fellas. I'm
You
taking
know,
all the risk.
I think at the end of the day, I think if people watched videos like this and educated themselves prior to engaging people like us, then they would be able to really kind of tweak what they're going to say and how to say it. Perfect example. You worked for a year at the mortgage company. You didn't want a dime. You wanted the guy to teach you. Then you talk to these other guys and you recorded. You want to hear the conversations. You did it the right way, which really shows a lot about your character and who you are.
You
So,
got to add value first, and you can't be a taker. You got to be a giver. And if you have no experience, you're going to have to pay the fuck up one way or another.
right.
You're either going to pay by losing money on the deal because you don't know what the fuck you're doing,
Yeah.
or you're going to pay by paying somebody else to fucking make the deal happen
Right.
and figure it out.
I mean, look, I get transactions myself that are not even short sales, and they're pretty decent deals. And I have people ask me all the time, dude, get a deal. Just get a deal. I'll fund it. We'll do the whole project. I'll give you 50% because they understand the value of what I'm bringing to the table and or my reach, because we're doing this all over the United States. So it's not only in New Jersey. You know, do I always take 50%? No, because yeah, there is risk involved, right? And maybe there's a lending partner involved. So, you know, am I okay with 33 and a third? Yeah. Am I okay with 25% of the deal? Absolutely. That's not, for me, that's not my only bread and butter. That's just an arm of something that I can offer to people. But I think people in general are either completely broke, which is okay, exactly, and it happens more than once.
Sure.
Or listen, if you're not failing, you're not trying, right?
Absolutely, dude.
And I fail a hell of a lot every single day. There's a thing on my wall right behind me. There's a piece of paper that talks about fail and success. And this line here, squiggly lines, all fails. I'm okay with failure. Most people aren't afraid with the failure. And I think because of that, they stay in a 9-to-5 job they hate, or they're working an overnight shift. And they're thinking like, hey, I'm going to work overnight. I'm going to have time during the day. And I'm going to be able to go out and canvas the area. I went to one of these $97 classes. I'm going to take the world on. And the reality is, this is the reality, because, you know, I've also coached some people that are in this type of realm, and they go, honestly, dude, I don't know if I want to do it. Right now, I'm at a point in my life. I'm so content. I work at night. I get home. I bang my girl. I go to sleep. I wake up. She goes to work. I get stoned. I play video games. I eat all day, and then I go back to work. And that's okay. Sometimes, like, that's, you either have to have a mind-altering experience, something that's either really tragic or really good that happens in your life to shake shit up to get you to the next phase of your life. Now, can we talk a little bit about your story?
Sure.
Sure. So tell people a little bit about your story. I have questions for you, but I want people to basically, you know, understand who you are.
I don't want to go so deep. I mean, I've done so many of these podcast interviews. I think people just get sick and fucking tired of me talking about it. But, you know, I'll go back to, I started off with a mortgage company. That's when we hit Inc. 500 magazine. It's the 136th fastest growing company. This was back in like 98, 99 is when I started it, and got into it accidentally. And I just saw there was an opportunity to really grow something big. And I had a vision that I wanted to grow the company to a certain size and sell out to countrywide. And it was a great run. We had I had started literally from scratch, no money, no job, very little income coming in, started into this business and grew it. And when I say I grew it, we scaled from 2 guys in a room on a milk crate to growing it to 200 employees, and then 400 employees, and then 30 states and 42 offices. And by the time this whole thing imploded, we had 950 associates nationwide. We were doing a little over $1 billion a year. We had, 1,000 mortgages a month that we were popping out. We had a full service title company that we own that was licensed, I think, in about 12 or 15 states, something like that. Mortgage bank, we had licensed in 42 states. And I had a grand vision. And what I did, I made so many mistakes growing that company, growing it too fast, outpacing sales, which operations couldn't handle, not systematizing my business like the McDonald method to make sure everything was done the same way consistently, because I didn't know, Matt, what I didn't fucking know. And the bottom line, the market shifted hard. And as before the crash happened, there was indicators inside our business where we know the crash was about to happen. Something was happening strange because the margins were getting compressed. And I was doing a capital raise. I did a $4 million capital raise. I was going back out doing a reverse merger. And before I knew it, shit hit the fan. The company completely did a meltdown. And we went from being on top of the game to completely overnight just about losing everything. And the real hard part, the shit really didn't hit the fan until after I lost the company. Once I realized what was happening, I mean, I was in a position where I was $14 million in debt. Once we all calculated, I had no idea at the time how much debt I had, but I had lawsuits and judgments and debt, and they locked up my bank accounts. They took my fucking car, repossessed it, foreclosed the house. Like, it was to a point where it just about broke me mentally, because I got to that point where I'm like, I just fucking can't handle it anymore. And then here we are. You know, I had an awakening back in 2009, July 4th, and I just got my head out of my ass, and I made are you there? Did you disappear? Am I by myself? What's happening here? I'm like, where did he go? Where did this guy go?
I'm letting you tell your story, Billy.
I thought, honestly, I thought you disappeared. I'm like, fuck, he's gone. What happened? So, you know, it was just, I've learned so much from the failure that I had no choice but to succeed, and succeed so much further than what I was prior to, because of the failures and the experiences and I got a Harvard education in a 10-year period without going to Harvard. Like, it was.
You got a PhD in street,
dude. Big in business too. I had, Matt, when I started, like, you have to understand, I never went to college. I was a semester in college, quit. I never had a real office job. When I got into this mortgage industry, and I didn't know how to use a fax machine, I didn't know how to use a copier. Like, I was as dumb because I just didn't know what I didn't know. I was so inexperienced with everything that, like, the easiest thing to do took me a long time to do it. So I went on, like, for 2 years when I got into this business, into the mortgage bank. I went, not only did I have to go in and study on how to do mortgages, but I went like hell deep into how to build a business, how to even fucking function, how to hire people, how to manage, like the basic 101 of building a company. I had to learn and learn fast. So I spent hours a night studying, educating myself, hours during the day, building this business, doing sales, hustling, hiring people, scaling the company. It was one of the best experiences of my life. I would never, people like, you know, how'd you handle it? You fucking, you know, you lost everything. You almost blew your head off. Like, what the hell's going on? And the experience, you can't like, you can't like put a dollar amount on the experiences of growing a company to that scale. Now, going through that and realizing how much stress it is to really have a company of that size, I'll never want to have a company that big ever again. You know, even with this business, this real estate investment company, I was very slow and very methodical, and like slowly put the building blocks out, and I slowly scaled it because I didn't want to be a slave to my business. I didn't want to work 14, 18-hour days. You know, one of the biggest lessons on life, not the business side, but on the life side, when I lost that business, was that I had 8 years of my life that was just so deep involved in that business that I didn't really, even though I had fun, I really didn't live. Even though I was making a shit ton of money and I had a great time, I really wasn't living. I was stressing out so much and I was working my ass off. And so this time around, it's a lifestyle business. I want to be able to grow a business that's going to serve me, that I don't have to serve it. And I've gotten the company to a point pre-COVID. Once COVID hits, a different story, but pre-COVID, where I only had to work 10 hours a week. I had it set up, it's systematized, people are in the office, they're doing things now. That's good for a while, because if you want to stay status quo, but I'm a grower. I like to build. I like to be able to expand. So I can only do that maintenance thing for 10 hours a week for so long, and then I get itchy, and I'm like, I got to start doing something else. Not red shiny object, but something else inside the business to grow it, to expand it, to go to a different geographic area, to maybe do, instead of doing residential, start doing commercial. So there's all these little things that go in, and I'll work hard now probably for the next 2 years. And then I'm going to sit back. I'm going to relax for 6 months to a year. I'm going to enjoy the fruits of my labor, like chill out, and then go back to the next one. And every time I build, I like to bring people in, systematize, put somebody in charge. I can have a piece of the action. have them manage it, have them run it, and then have me take a break and then go on to the next piece.
So you're a firm believer in obviously system building. You're one of those guys that likes to work on it, not in it, which totally makes sense.
Oh yeah. And I've
I-
learned that because of the global business. I worked in it way too hard, way too long, and they didn't systematize it the right way.
So there's a lot of individuals that are going to watch this live now, or they're going to watch on the replay, and they're going to say, wow, you know what, he's right. Some people want to work a 9 to 5. Some people want to have direction. Some people want to have a boss that says, hey, do this, do that, because they're afraid of making a decision, good or bad. And so I wouldn't wish what I go through on a weekly basis with real estate agents, brokers, attorneys, getting phone calls from attorneys that are going to say, you know, I'm going to talk with the local MLS about what you're doing. Let's do it, because I disclose everything. And if you're doing full disclosure, you really have nothing to hide. But there's a lot of guys in my space that are doing stuff, and it's very creepy the way that they do it. And they're not papering up, and they're not offering disclosures, and they're not even offering the correct information on the MLS with real estate agents. That's one of it. But then I also have the investor side of it, of investors, and they almost feel like they have a sense of entitlement. So if somebody's done multiple projects with me, and they're like, hey, why didn't you call me? So I literally just listened to a voicemail. He said, hey, where'd you go? Well, I figured you're telling your story. I'll mute out, and I'll listen to it. And the person's calling and saying, hey, why didn't you tell me about this property? Like, dude, you get my emails, you get my text messages, right? I'm not going to roll up to your house in the middle of the night and ring your doorbell and say, hey, listen, did you get a chance to take a look at the information that was provided to you? Everybody has a chance. Everybody has a shot. The other thing is that, you know, real estate agents, and I hate this, I'm always talking about real estate agents, but I got to tell you, they're the biggest culprits out there that don't understand the market space that we're in, and don't understand what we provide. People like you and me, Billy, because we're problem solvers. And in a situation when somebody's in distress, the agent is going to think, or they're going to talk hastily, and they're going to put themselves in a really bad jam. So getting a phone call from somebody and basically putting on a voicemail saying to me, you know, I don't understand why you didn't call me. Why you didn't reach out to me? This is ridiculous. With the multiple deals before, it's like, dude, like, if you're going to rely on me for your sole source of getting any type of transactions in real estate, I'm not your guy. I don't want to be somebody's kickstand on their bicycle. I want to be a guy that's in their Rolodex. Kids that 20, 30 years old are going, what's a Rolodex? But the thing is, at the end of the day, these phones that are smartphones have made people absolutely ridiculously stupid. I don't know anybody's phone number. I know 3 phone numbers, but I've got obviously a ton of friends and associates. So technology is going to make people better, whether they want to either get on board or they don't. And this whole COVID thing, we'll do a sidestep on that. The whole COVID thing, what's going on? People were so panicked in the beginning when COVID came out. That's fine. But what about the reality is, look, there's always things that are going to come out. There's always viruses that are going to come out. I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong, but were you getting the impression that real estate agents were so panicked that they turned off their lead generation, they stopped showing properties, they stopped working with their present clients, they literally just, their business stopped for 2-3 weeks because of sheer panic? Me, I'm like, this is fucking huge. I'm going to go live on Facebook. I'm going to go Monday through Friday. I'm going to go hard. I'm going to offer a night show 2 days a week if people want to come on. People thought I was nuts. Now I can't do my live show at night because I need time for myself, my family, and my kids. And then I scale back Monday through Friday to Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays because I also have to help my team out. What's your thought on what COVID's actually done for the real estate community right now?
So on the residential side, I agree with you. I think people, they got all jammed up. Most of the agents out there just didn't know what the fuck to do on and how to handle it. I think that because everything did come to a standstill and nobody really understood, unless you were doing it in the past, on how to do virtual anything, you were jammed up. And, I can only speak on our side with our company. As soon as shit hit the fan, we went into war zone mode. I broke out the P&Ls. We figured out what we're going to cut back. We literally sliced $72,000 a month in overhead right off the fucking books. And we just went and figured out how to do this business virtually. Now, if you would have asked me a year ago, could I run a virtual business that's a real estate investment company that really does rehabs, really does wholesale, and has a rental portfolio, I'd say no. We need an office. I have employees. I have staff. I have 12 people. Like, I want them to come in. As soon as COVID hit, and I really didn't know this was going to happen, but 30 days into it, I'm like, we're running smooth. We're not skipping a beat. We did, though, cut back on marketing, specifically direct mail, because nobody was calling. We did 2 weeks. I'm like, the fucking mail is dead right now, so I'm not going to go. But we didn't stop marketing. We continued emailing. We continued cold calling. We continued doing text blasting. So we continued generating business, and we mined our old leads in our database. So our volume went from 12 to 18 deals a month down to 6 to 8, but my marketing cost went down to 0, and my overhead went down 72 grand. Fast forward 90 days in, we're 100% virtual. 3 weeks ago, I drove back to Long Island. I closed up both offices. And I said, everybody's going to be working virtually from here on in. That's it. I surveyed the company across the board, the whole team, everybody. They said I watched, they're more productive. They have work-life balance. The ones that had kids, they're having breakfast with the kid. They're having lunch with the kid. They're having dinner with the kid, and they're still working. It's not like they're hanging out with the family all day. And what I found is they're actually working longer because they're home, and they're mixing family time and business time all in one. So it was a no-brainer, man. We closed up everything. We went 100% virtual, and the whole team, myself, my partner Wayne, we have not been happier doing this, because now it allowed me to do what I want to do. I'm not stuck in New York anymore. I could be in Jersey. I can go to Puerto Rico. I mean, I'm looking now to move to Puerto Rico for 6 months and a day out of the year. It's like I'm free to do what I want to do.
Yeah. Why did you move to New Jersey? Any particular reason why?
To move to New Jersey?
Yeah.
Nah, no specific reason.
Gotcha. So you got COVID-19. Where are we now? It's funny. Because
why do you think I moved to Jersey?
I know I moved to Jersey.
My girl, man.
I saw the video.
Got the best ever. The best. And today, by the way, today's her birthday. She's 44 years old today.
I know.
My girl.
I messaged happy birthday.
Yeah, she's a great girl.
She's awesome. I had her on the show.
Yeah, super sweet girl.
She's fun to interview. It's funny. Guys like you and me, we track probably some craziness in our lives, and we like to joke around. So it's funny. Like, I'll ask people that I joke around with, "Yo, you want to come on a live?" "Oh, fuck that shit." "What?" "Nah, man." He goes, "When I see that live go on, I'm like, what?
Who, really?
Dude, freeze up.
Yeah, a lot of people get like that. They just can't do it.
I listen when live on or not. My kids, my family would tell you, I'm just insane as I am doing these videos, as I am out in public with them. They laugh, but my oldest gets it now, and he sees that you got to be sincere in our industry. Can't walk around with a dollar sign. You
just got to be real. You got to be real.
You generally have to care. I don't talk about the people. People donate to charities, right? Sometimes I'll donate to individuals. I'm not going to say anything about it because it doesn't. Hey, I just donated X amount of money to this dude who's trying to buy a truck. I don't do stuff. I don't talk about it because then it's kind of like I'm talking about it because I'm trying to show people I'm a caring person. Just do, and people will see it. So they'll see by your actions. That's how I look at it. So the whole COVID thing that happened. And everybody's like, "Oh, how do we get a hold of you? How do we get a hold of your team? We just heard about you guys. You have an office." "No, we're virtual." And then they were like, "Wait a second. You shut down your office? You don't need it?" "No, I've been virtual for years."
Yeah.
So before, I knew that as long as they had, and it's all company. Everybody gets a company cell phone. They get a printer. They get a laptop or computer, whatever the choice is. If you want a laptop, to me, you're a fucking baller, because I know that you're going to take that laptop if you're going somewhere. You're going to do it. You tell me you want a desktop, I get a little worried because now you're complacent. You don't want to move around. If you go on vacation, you're not going to bring your laptop. You don't want to work. To me, that's my mentality. So this whole COVID thing is a blessing, but it's also a curse. And here's why it's a curse. From the banking side, people are saying forbearance deferment. Homeowners are giving in to the hype because they're talking to individuals at the bank. Quite honestly, they don't know what they're doing. Why? Because there was no rule book written. It was legit on the fly, much like 2007, 2008. People didn't know what the hell they were doing. So now people that are in the situation relying on the bank, thinking that the bank rep is giving them the proper information, these guys and gals inside the bank are getting whacked to the tune of almost $10,000 of violation per phone call.
So let me ask you a question regarding forbearances for people that are behind right now. So,
Yep.
and I want to like almost interview you to get some value here. So the Fannie Mae, if it's a Fannie Mae deal or Freddie Mac deal, what are the guidelines specifically for those two, or if you want to break them up over a 12-month period? Because I have my own. I just want to see where you're at with this.
Okay, so Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, if they announced, I don't even know when the hell they announced it, a little while ago, saying that, look, if you are in a forbearance agreement, that they're going to work with you. Are you looking for a Yorkie? Can you hear that dog in the back?
Dude, I have one too. These things are fucking nasty.
Yeah.
These little nippers.
Exactly. If they want to take advantage of the 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is,
or a year, up to a year.
Hold on, and pay it back. So they could pay it back. Go in the 3 months, you got to pay it. Now they get an extension, 6 months. If you want to pay it, whatever, okay, fine. If they don't pay it, they've got an additional 6 months. So here's my thought. What happens if you have a job loss? What happens if you want on a deferment? What happens if, there's a death in the family, right? So now you're 3 to 6 months. Now you got 6 months within that year. It is within that year period. That's one thing they're not saying. So it is within that 1 year period.
What is it? What is with that 1 year period?
They have to pay back all the payments.
Right. That's on the forbearance side, but they can convert that forbearance over into a loan mod.
Hold on a second. That's the problem. Right there, that is the problem. Because what they're not telling homeowners is, okay, here's your 12-month plan. Okay, you messed up 3 months. We'll spread out the difference over 12 months. You can make the payment. What if you can't make that payment? Loan modification. Now you go into a loan modification. What happens if you don't qualify for loan modification? What if they don't allow you to go with the loan modification?
Now you owe all those payments.
Wait a second. I got one even better than that. What if your point of contact in the bank is saying to you, hey, you got 3 months? Oh, you can't make it? Don't panic. Go 6 months. Oh, you can't pay it? Don't worry. You got up to a year to pay it back. Homeowners aren't asking the question of...
And they're not asking for documentation.
Forget the documentation part. I already had a loan modification. Do you know if I'll be able to qualify for another modification? Or they ask them, will I be able to qualify for another modification? They said, yeah, you can apply for modification. That doesn't mean you're going to get a modification.
Sure.
And then the homeowners are saying, well, I got paperwork, and the paperwork said, I have a deferment. And we have past clients reaching out to Leah and me and saying, well, my bank said I have a deferment. Send us the paperwork. It's a forbearance.
Yep.
So they're freaking out. So the real thing is that homeowners need to ask them, look, if you are 3 months behind and you can make your payments, make your payments. Because what's going to happen in the end, you're going to end up paying it regardless.
Sure.
It's either going to be a higher payment every month over the course of the year, or you legitimately could drive yourself into a foreclosure situation.
So let me ask you this. When all this shit happened, I have my own thoughts of what's happening this year, and I was a little off, but what's going to happen next year, 12 months after COVID hit. What's your thoughts?
A lot of people filing bankruptcy, but go ahead.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts 9 to 12 months from March when it hit on the foreclosure side? What's going to be happening in the industry with real estate with the onset of foreclosures? Do you think it's mushroom up? Do you think there's going to be enough inventory coming out? Do you think there's going to be a lot of short sales hitting? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I think that after January, I think that the bottom's going to drop out on the people that were fortunate enough to be behind in their payment, and literally COVID, legit, people that had sale dates literally came in the clutch and said, you guys are saved until, let's say 2021 in the
So
beginning.
those are the old batch of people that were already in foreclosure.
Correct.
Okay.
Now going into the new batch of people, and I try not to tend to smile about it, but the reality is in New Jersey, the foreclosure process has been expedited. November 1st, 2019, nobody has to take my word for it. Google it. 2019, November 1st, they changed the law of foreclosure in the state of New Jersey. So as before, you had 2-week adjournments. You had 2-week, which was 30 days. Now you have 60 days. Hooray! But on the bank side, they only want the bank to have the same. So if you sit in your house and you milk it, and you think that you're going to be able to stay in that property for 3 to 5 years or whatever it was in the past, that's not happening anymore. They are expediting and they are speeding up the process.
They did that in New York. They sped up the process, and they did this a couple of years ago, and it still fucking didn't work because the court system is so backed up. And I'm just learning this whole New Jersey foreclosure law now that I'm doing business out here. But
Yeah.
New York, dude, they changed it a few years back, and it's
Right.
still 5 to 7 years. If you know the game, it's 5, 7, 9 years to foreclose.
Billy, that's a different story. You're talking about people that understand when you get your first notice, when you get your actual notice of the default, when you get your intent on the foreclosure process, when you get the actual letter saying that, hey, we're going for final judgment.
So you're saying the people that just get the information, they don't really act on it, that's going to be streamlined right through. That's what I'm hearing? Yeah, okay. That makes sense. That makes 100% sense.
Because you're getting bad advice from attorneys. Attorneys are saying, don't worry about it. Give me the paperwork.
They always say that. My attorney said I filed bankruptcy. I no longer owe the debt on the property. No, you don't owe the debt, but it's still attached to the house. We're doing a short sale. We have to still eliminate that thing. It's still on there.
Not only that, but I love when people say, or you call in, and if you file the bankruptcy, it will say that although the debt has been discharged in a bankruptcy hearing, you are not liable for the debt. We are still proceeding with the foreclosure process on the asset.
Yep.
But here's the thing. Watch this. So fine, you stay in your house, you file bankruptcy. The attorney says, well, realistically, you got 6 months to a year before you can, do anything, depending on the county that you're in and how they're going to move forward. Now you're in the house. Somebody gets hurt. They get hurt on your property. That house is still yours.
Yep.
Let's say your insurance isn't good and you're not paying your insurance. Because some people that are in foreclosure, believe it or not, if the taxes, principal, insurance is not rolled into it, they ask for people to see if you have insurance policies, and people pay it. But whether you're paying the insurance or not, right? And then you have forced place insurance,
which is
ridiculous, or regular insurance. That is your house. And if somebody gets hurt on your property, guess who's responsible?
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah, that's one of the sales pitches my guys use when they're trying to close up on a short sale.
So when someone says to me, I don't know, to me it's not a pitch. This is a reality.
No, it's reality, but it's part of their sales pitch. They're like, look, your house is vacant. I know you don't think you own it, but the deed is still in your name. I know your bankruptcy attorney told you that you no longer have anything to do with the house, but it's still in your name legally.
Right.
If somebody breaks in, somebody parties, somebody starts doing heroin, they drop dead of a heart attack, you're getting sued.
Correct.
I have insurance. Well, I have insurance. They're still suing you.
Correct. And your insurance limit could be, even on the forced place insurance, maybe it's $1 million. But maybe somebody died in your house and that family member understands the laws. Oh, okay, well, we're definitely taking the insurance policy.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to sue you for negligence because you didn't lock up your house correctly.
Yep. Of course. All legal matters.
Listen, the best I have ever heard, there's two things that I love. One, they had a preservation company go in, and the preservation company went in and they claimed that the pipes blew in the house. Well, the pipes blew in the house because the preservation company billed the bank basically saying they did the job, but then they went in after the pipes blew and they tried to drain the pipes. The fucking pipes blew already. There's no water in the pipes at that point. The town turned off the water. So it's like, and there's a lot of companies out there like that try to collect a check and not do anything. The other thing was, I got a phone call from a homeowner, and he says, look, I have a house. I'd like to sell it, but there's a little bit of a situation that we have. And I said, well, what's the situation? He goes, I want to short sell my house, but my house isn't there anymore. I said, what do you mean your house isn't there anymore?
Fire damage, knockdown, condemned. What happened?
The town literally, they took the house down because it had massive termite damage in it.
Yep.
And the house was leaning. So they removed the house. Not only they removed the house, they ripped out the foundation. But that's not the funny part. When I called the bank to talk to the bank to find out what was going on, they said, well, the preservation company has been billing us for the last 6 months, saying that they're checking up on the house, letting them know the house, whatever it is. And I said, really? I said, are you sure?
So
and he said, yeah. I said, you're
fucking
sure?
Scammers.
And I said, call the bureau, call the county, the clerk's office, and ask them about the house. And sure enough, that person ended up become one of my trusted people on the inside because they're like, dude, you're fucking thorough. The thing is that everything's a scam. I don't care what industry you're in. Everybody has an angle, right? So you can either use it for good or you can use it for bad. I choose to use for good. And I know you're the same way. But it's okay to make money. But as long as you put the people before the profit, you're golden.
Yeah, bro. I love that statement, by the way. I love that. I stole it from you, by the way. I give you credit for it, but I fucking use it all the time.
Right. And it's true, though. And I think if people before profit, and here's my other one. When you get a homeowner and they're nasty on the line, or somebody calls me up, agent, I'm trying to get a hold of this person, they keep hanging up on me. No problem. I'll call them up. Hey, I understand you've been speaking with so-and-so. I don't like that person. They keep calling me. I said, you keep hanging up. Are they asking you about listing your house? I don't know. I don't want to hear it. Are you interested in finding out what your options are? Do you want to know your options? It's like you hear, what? Nobody's ever even offered that to me before. I said, that's all the agent's trying to find out. Do you want to know what your options are?
Sure.
Throw that shit in your mix. Besides your people before profit stealer person. So let's talk about, I guess, the past 5 to 7 months. I
was on your show about 5 to 7 months ago?
So. About 5 to 7 months or so ago, you were on, let's say 7 months.
Yeah, it's probably 7 months ago.
7 months. So, I mean, basically, from then to now, obviously the world's come to an end in some people's opinion. Now is a time where I truly believe
wealth is going to be built big time.
It's either you're going to see, you might even see a shift where people that have closed mindsets, they're like, oh my God, I'm going to panic, whatever it is, they freeze up. And they're not calling their banks and saying, hey, what can you offer me? Or they're not calling the local townships and saying, hey, are there any grants to try to help me maintain my mortgage? Because remember, I can't evict anybody. So there could be a little bit of a teeter-totter, in the shift of wealth. So there's going to be a lot of wealth built, I think. And in the last 5 to 7 months, so much has happened. So much has changed. And I think that overall, people in general, they become complacent. What is your opinion on standing still, doing nothing? And obviously, you and I are changing with the times. You just said you shut down your office. What's your opinion on that?
Look, honestly, stand still or take action. I'm an action guy. You can't stand still with anything. I don't care where you're at in life, what you're doing in life. You have to take a massive action, massive MFA, I call it, massive fucking action. And you need to do that consistently. So if you're in this business right now, you're in sales, you're in whatever, mortgages, real estate, investing, short sales, like now's the time to actually the last 5 months of being home, stuck in your fucking house, was the time to really set yourself up to take advantage of what's about to happen over the next 12 to 24 months. So we're positioned, dude. We're positioned. I'm doing a massive capital raise. Like I've been behind the scenes working with copywriters, working with my video guys, working with my funnel people, and we're building out some really killer things to get regular people out there who, listen, if you go to a fucking cocktail party, you go anywhere, Matt, you know everybody wants to invest in real estate. One way, shape, form, or another. They've all watched the TV shows. They all want to get involved. They all want to do something. But because they don't have the time, because they have a regular job, could be an attorney, could be an accountant, could be a financial planner, could be a guy who works for the town. Whatever they're doing, they have a regular job. They don't have the time to study, but they have this want, this desire. And a lot of these people, they have $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in their IRA, in their 401k. And we're taking them, we're training them, we're saying, look, if you're going to invest in real estate, the smartest investors out there are not the guys doing what I'm doing. I'm not calling myself dumb, but they're not the guys going out and finding the properties and fixing the properties and managing the properties. The smartest investors are the ones who are leveraging guys like me, have us do all the work. They invest their money into the deal. They earn a healthy return between 6 and 10% on the single family side, between 7 and 18% as the IRR on the commercial side. And it's like, why would they not want to put their money to work and invest with us? So we're in that position right now over the next couple of months where we're going to be doing a hard push to raise capital. I've been doing all my testimonial videos. I've been interviewing people, and over the next couple of months, we're going to start rolling this out. And I think we're going to be able to raise the first block is going to be about $10 million for the single family fix and flip and single family buy and hold. And as that whole piece is working and coming together, my whole passion has been, I need another vehicle in real estate. So I've been learning, studying, and getting involved with the commercial side. So now I'm going hell deep into this whole commercial business. I have a 75 unit development that we're putting up in Long Island. We have 7 parcels that we're bringing together. I have a couple of partners on that one. We have a 36 unit that we're going to be putting in a drug rehabilitation center in an area of Long Island where it was a halfway house. We're converting it over. We're going to get licensed by a certain agency. You know, they pay like $15,000 per month per bed. It's $1 million business overnight. Right. A lot of work. You have to have somebody manage it. But so I'm getting into these larger deals, and I'm smart enough to realize if you want to get into bigger deals, you need to share the wealth. You need to bring in people, put together a syndication, bring in people to raise the capital. I could be the general partner with a couple of other people, make the deals happen, and have my LPs just fucking take the money as it comes in, take the cash flow, take the depreciation, take the appreciation, and everybody wins, man. It's a win-win-win across the board with everybody.
You ran into my next question. You've been investing since 1989. Obviously, you've been doing it, full time since 2009. You're in a single family space. What's next? You just told me what's next.
Yeah,
so we don't even have to touch base on that. Where do you see the market going in the next 12 to 36 months?
So, and that's why I wanted to pick your brain earlier. So when COVID first hit, I said there's going to be a reality gap for the next 12 months. And I was a little off with the definition of reality gap, and I take full ownership of it. I thought for the next 12 months that there was going to be a compression where the sellers are going to want to sell for a certain price. Buyers were going to be like, I'm not paying that price. And eventually, 12 months down the road, this whole thing was going to kind of squeeze out. We were going to have not a meltdown like 2008, but the value is going to start to plummet. When I didn't take into consideration the fact that everybody and their mother wants to leave Metropolis. They don't want to leave the cities. So the suburbs they're booming right now. Like Long Island suburbs, upstate suburbs, parts of New Jersey is just absolutely insane because there's no inventory. So the market's actually going up. There's no inventory. People are overpaying on properties. But I still think in 12 months from this past March, so by next March, I think there's going to be a downturn in the market. Look, I could be 100% fucking wrong. I have no clue. It's just my own intuition that's telling me what could happen. I might be 100% wrong, but we're positioning ourselves for a downturn in the market within the next 12 to 18. That's why we're raising the capital in anticipation to go on a mad buying spree, especially for the buy and holds.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think that people across the board are hoping and praying that maybe the banks are going to do the right thing. I don't know if that's necessarily. Hold on.
You got ADD to the fucking max, bro.
Oh, it's horrible, bro. It's horrible.
Yo, you're all over the fucking. Wait, hold on. Wait a second, hold on.
Well, no, because listen, that's why I work.
Wait, hold on, wait.
That's why I work on my business. I don't work. People are like, focus.
You asked me a question over here, and 2 minutes later, we're all the way over here. I'm like, where? I'm trying to I'm like, where's this guy going? What's going on here?
I think the problem is that so much going on, and I want to appease everybody, but at the same point,
You can't appease everybody. It's impossible. You got to fucking do what's good for you, and everybody else will benefit.
Well, here's the thing, right? So this person asked on Facebook, how much money do you need to invest, and what's the return? You know what?
Good. So great question. So in my portfolio, what we're doing is we're having a $50,000 minimum. I get guys, I get women, I get people all day hitting me. Hey, I got 10 grand. Could I invest my money? It's just the paperwork alone is too time consuming to take in a $10,000 investment. And what honestly could I do with a $10,000 investment? With 50 grand, I can bring them in on a deal, and I can utilize their money to do the rehab costs on a property. So I could put their money to work. I could pay them a 10% straight interest, deferred, pay them at the end. I do those deals all day long, but the 10s and the 20s, I can't. And I'm not going to do something illegal and start mixing up people's money. I don't do that. The only way we can mix people's money is if we're actually syndicating and we file with the SEC.
Right, the memorandum or whatever they call it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not going to do that with the single family space. I'm not going to take in 8 different people, 10,000 from each guy, and buy a house for 80. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm breaking the laws, and I'm not going to do that.
Right. No, I got you.
My question back then would be, how much money do you have? And when are you looking to invest?
Well, your phone number is going to be popping up.
Let's put that money to work.
Your phone number is going to be popping up in about 2 seconds anyway.
Holy shit. I hope I didn't give you my cell phone number.
You don't want your number on there?
Not my cell phone. No fucking way.
What phone number you want?
Do 800
793
5015 extension 100.
You're funny, dude.
Bro, I've been down this road. My cell phone is my private business. I'm not 24/7 dealing with people. Hey, I have a deal. Could you analyze it? No.
Well, that's why I switched the information you gave me to put on here, because your number was originally on it.
Yeah.
I went on your website because, I asked you for specific things, and I went on your website. I saw the 800 number. He probably wants his 800 number. So, guys, look, if you want to reach out to Billy, you can reach out to him 800. It's toll free. Call 24 hours a day. You can leave a voicemail if he doesn't pick up. It's 800-739-5015 extension 100. It's 800-739-5015 extension 100. Go ahead.
So I want this Facebook user. He or she is asking questions, but it just says Facebook user with no name. So type your name in there. And the questions are, I have 40, not 50. I'd be too scared unless I definitely knew I would make money. So here's the deal. With the investment product that we have, you are 100% secured with a mortgage and a note. So if I lose money in a deal and I lose $35,000, your investment is secured and guaranteed with the mortgage and note. Completely different if you come in as a partner. If you come in as a partner, if we win, we all win. If we lose, we all lose. But when you're a private investor investing into private notes, you're secured. The note tells you, I'm going to pay you back. The mortgage secures your interest against the property.
And so I want to interject. And I said, I'm going to say this because I have to say it as a disclaimer.
Sure.
This is all alleged. So if they want to reach out to you offline and talk to you, if you want to reach out to Billy directly, you can call him at the 800-739-5015 extension 100, because my company is not involved in this in any way.
No. Listen, you're not, and I'm not out here peddling fucking deals to try to raise money right now. This is not me. I don't know this person. But if you're going to invest your money into a deal, here's how you can lose. If you have somebody that says, hey, I have a deal and I want you to invest, if you just give them your 50 grand and they just give you a promissory note, you're fucked. Because they can take that money and do anything with it. You don't want to pay them the money personally. You don't want that money going into their operating account. That money is specifically earmarked for a specific transaction, 101 Main Street. That money is going to be leveraged and utilized. You're going to get a note saying that person owes you, and you're going to get a mortgage that records that money you're investing against the property. That's how you secure yourself.
Why are they saying the phone number that I posted is incorrect?
Wow, no idea.
Isn't that your phone number?
Yeah, 1-800-793-5015.
Hold on. 1-800-739.
No, 793. I just call it 793 1-800-793 5015.
What is it?
793-5015.
7
Extension 100.
739.
Yeah, no, 793 793
793 793
5015.
5015.
Extension 100.
Well, how the hell is this wrong? What I have up there?
You had 739.
And what is it?
793. Holy fuck! Who am I talking to?
793. 793. What are you? That's the number I have.
I don't know. I saw a little blast there. I thought it said 739 myself for a second. It is what it is.
793.
5015. Extension 100.
1-800-793.
That's it.
5015. Extension. Yeah. I know I'm dyslexic. What's that?
That's my number. It's right there. 793-5015.
Yeah. That was 2 minutes right there. We wasted in an interview on what the phone number is correct or not.
You said it wrong. Yeah, I think I said it wrong. You said 739. I probably did. Fucking asshole I am. Whatever.
800-793-5015, extension 100.
There you go, animal.
800-793-5015, extension.
I would love to take more questions though about raising money. Like, what questions do they have? And I'm not here soliciting cash, but I want to make sure that if they invest with anybody, that they get the right information. Because there's a lot of people out there, dude. Like, I belong to a lot of RIAs, and I've had people tell me that they've invested money just with a note and not a mortgage.
Oh, I said it wrong. It was printed correctly. Listen, just call the phone number, man. Yeah. Call Billy.
Call me up. I'll take care of you.
Call
Jenny.
Billy.
Jenny.
So call Billy at 800-739. I feel like
you said it again. You said it backwards again. It's 793.
793-5015 extension. It's on the goddamn screen. They can't.
All right, let's move on here. I can't do this. My time is being wasted. I got to move on to another question.
I don't know. All right, listen. Where do you see yourself in fucking 10 years? And go fuck yourself.
So 10 years, 10, 20 years, major player in the apartment arena, $500 million controlled real estate, $1 billion in 20 years. I'll probably own about 35% of that. And I'm on my way. Like, I have no doubts about it. I'm focused on it. My residential business is never going to close. Like, I'll never close that down just to focus on the other piece. I have partners. I have people. I have a business. I'm always going to be involved. I found that at this level, I'm only really needed to solve problems. Give vision, set the vision, and solve problems. Everything else can be handled. Everything else can be handled, man. And so, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about what's happening. I'm excited about the business. I'm excited about bringing in new people. I'm excited about doing joint ventures. I'm super excited about raising money, and I'm really fucking excited about getting involved with bigger deals.
I think I might just throw your cell phone number on the screen just to fuck with you.
It's going to be wrong anyway, so you can put whatever you want. Your fucking number's coming out of your mouth wrong. It's going to be wrong on the screen, so I don't give a fuck what you put up.
Got it in my phone, motherfucker. Got it in my phone. So Billy Alvaro is my guest today. We're talking about a little bit about his history, where he's been, a little bit of his vision board, where he's headed, where he's going to be in 10 years from now. Hopefully, he'll be able to afford to buy me a cup of coffee once or twice. I appreciate that. Let
me just give you a shout out on a serious note, because I've been leveraging your company on the short sale side. Now, full disclosure, I have multiples of everybody. I have multiple attorneys. I have multiple title companies. I have multiple inspectors. I have multiple contractors. I have multiple short sale companies that do a negotiation. I used to own a short sale company, and I said, you know what? I'm getting out of that space because it's too close to home. It's too much of a conflict. I don't want to buy in. So I have everything separated. I tested you out a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, a year and a half, around there. I think was the first one that we did. And I got to tell you, super hard deal. House was in foreclosure. The foreclosure date was 2 weeks away. You set us up with the attorney. You guys negotiated your asses off. You had the initial approval come in about 35 to 45 days after you submitted, substantially higher. We had shown you that the house was a complete disaster. We had all of our reports together. You guys went back, you and Leah and Will, you renegotiated. You got it down from, I think, 275 to 200. Ended up, you got us just about where we needed to be, $120,000 on the short sale side. So I'm not saying this because I get anything. I'm just saying your company works. Your people work. You guys know what the fuck you're doing. So if you're listening, you're in Facebook land, you're in YouTube land, Matt's the real deal. Matt's company, I owned a huge bank. I owned a short sale negotiation company. I owned a title company. I know quality people when they're there. Matt might be a little ADD-ish and a little all over the place, but I can tell you what, his company's not run like that. His company, he has the vision, but his people inside there are making fucking shit happen. Matt's out there doing the front end work. His people in the back end, they're making it happen. So honestly, hands off to you, hats off to you. I appreciate it. I've given you other deals since. You've gotten them done. They're all hard. I don't care if you're a realtor and you think these things are going to be a walk in the park easy and there's going to be no issues. You're fucking in the wrong business. There's issues with everything, but it's when there's an issue, how is it resolved with the people, your partners? And I consider you guys a partner in the deals. How do they handle it? They do. They fucking handle it. They make shit happen. And I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate that too. And besides the business side of it, I think of you as a friend. I think you're a funny individual.
Back at you.
I hands down. I think if you and Richard Rollins were next to each other, I think they would think you guys 100% would be brothers.
This is so 100%. Funny.
Matter of fact, when I met you at Nick Tang's event, I
think you said that to me.
Yeah. Are you Richard Rollins? What's up? So, but even then you laugh, which is cool. Some people get offended when you say, hey, you look like somebody, whatever, but I mean, you get it. I mean, it looks like it'd be worse. I could say you look like somebody, that's not considered a handsome looking guy or.
So I'm gonna give you one. So my weight fluctuates. I get heavy, I get thin, I get in shape. I'm ebb and flow. So 20 years ago, who is the fat bastard that played Uncle Buck in the movie? What was his name? Uncle Buck. Remember the guy? He died of a heart attack. He was a comedian. Huh? John Candy. John Candy. Yeah. So when I got a little in the face, I'm upstate at my house, bunch of the guys hanging out, and we're all fucking blown out. And I was feeling a little fat. I was looking a little fat. And Dominic turns around, he goes, holy shit, you look like Uncle Buck. And that fucking name stuck with me, dude, for like 20 years. And I had to laugh at it because, I was looking a little fat. And I kind of looked like John Candy. I had the fucking big eyes and the big head. And you got to laugh at yourself.
Yeah, no doubt, 100%. In this industry, absolutely. So,
in life.
Listen, at the end of every one of these shows, I ask people to try to emulate the finger point. You think you can do it?
The finger point?
Well, I always go like this.
Oh,
the highest anybody's ever gotten was, I think, an 8.5.
An 8.5?
Yeah.
I'm shooting for a 10. I don't like to lose.
Let me see if you got it. I'm gonna give you the problem. Here's the problem.
There's always a problem. What's the solution? What's the solution?
Well, I'm gonna give you the problem, then I'm gonna give you the solution. Okay, Don't you love when people come to you and they're that's great. What's the solution? You got an idea? See, the problem is people don't do this. You see how strong that is? This finger cuts glass, bro.
I can see it.
Boom!
I guess you can go right through somebody's skull with that thing.
Absolutely. There's a lot of penetration with this thing. I'm not going to lie.
You can take that a couple different ways.
It is what it is, my man. I appreciate you coming on to the show today. Guys, this is Billy Alvaro. He's a buddy of mine. If you want to reach out to him direct, I'm going to say the number correct because this will be on a podcast at a later time. I'm picking select shows. This is one of them. Probably it's going to say for mature audiences only on this episode because you like to say the word fuck a lot, bro.
It's part of my vocabulary. Some people say I have no vocabulary. I can't say words because all I say is fuck, but it is what it is. If I offend, turn me off.
And just so we're on the same page, they say people that curse a lot are actually more trustworthy. I don't know if you know that or not.
I have no idea about that. I just know I have a potty mouth. I've been told my whole life, and it is what it is. I've curbed it a lot.
I know. And people hate when I say it is what it is too, so I get it. 800-793-5015, extension 100. Call 24 hours a day, and you can reach out to the guy himself.
Find me online too. It's Unstoppable BA. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm all over the place. I think on LinkedIn, I'm Billy Alvaro Invests on LinkedIn. So that's it, brother.
I think a lot of the information was actually put on in the promo when it actually shows it underneath your thumbnail, whatever it is. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure, brother. We got to get together with the girls. Go out to dinner.
Absolutely. Hold on one sec. Don't go anywhere.